beautiful people. Welcome back. If you're new, welcome. My name is Georgia. So, we are going to do a recap and a review of Love and Marriage Detroit Season 1, Episode 7, titled Reconnecting and Disconnecting. So, in the last episode, we left off where we had Kolby and Kristina at just meeting up at like a park or something, and that was the first meetup after they had the blow up at the skating rink, and both of them said that they weren't in the wrong, so therefore they weren't gonna meet up. But Kristina called Kolby and asked her to meet face to face. Said she wanted to talk about the situation face to face and not over the phone, even though Kristina had already talked to Russell regarding what happened with the publicist. So Kolby was not happy that Kristina actually called Russell, her husband, and didn't have the decency, she says, to speak to her first. She's like, I'm going to tell you this one time and one time only. Do not call my husband about anything. If there is something that you need to speak to him about, you go through me. Kristina didn't feel that there was an issue with that, and they were going back and forth with that for a little while. They got onto the conversation regarding Brandon and his behavior, as they call it. And again, they were knocking heads for a little while. Kristina says Brandon is his own person. I cannot tell him what to do, when to do, where to do it, or whatever. But she did apologize for his behavior. Then we have Kolby saying she's also apologizing for her behavior. She's saying maybe she took it a little bit too far. Maybe she didn't need to get so upset. So she apologized for her behavior as well. With that, now we have Kristina inviting Kolby to her brunch, Shut Up and Pray brunch. And they ended the scene there. Now we have LaToya and Anthony. We have Anthony in the studio, and he's doing a photo shoot. I believe it's for a handbag line for a local designer in Detroit. And there is another designer that he said he wants for them to collab. I think the other designer sells denim or something. I forgot. But they were at the studio with the models and the crew doing a photo shoot for the handbag line. And we had LaToya come and just to check out and see what's going on and just, be there for her husband. They're talking. They gave the people a break, the models and stuff. They take a 5-minute and they sit down to talk. And now LaToya suggests that they go on a trip as a couple because she doesn't like the direction that the group is going. Like, they're splitting, they're fighting. So maybe they need a trip to get away to reconnect. But didn't Brandon suggest that last week when he and his wife was having a talk in the backyard? I'm guessing, they want to make sure that she's the one who suggested it because we're looking at her as the peacemaker. So if she suggests a trip, then hey, maybe people will come along. So they said they wanted to have that trip in order for everybody to reconnect. So she tells him where she wants them to go. I forgot. She said it real quick, so I'm not even sure I'm familiar with the place. I've never heard of it, but I believe in next week's episode, we're going to get to see it. And from the clips that I'm seeing, it looks like a beautiful spot. So yeah, they decide that, they're going to invite the other two couples on a weekend trip in order to reconnect and try to get the group back on the same page because they were just going too much arguments, too much disagreements, and they're all going left. Now we have Kristina and Brandon on a dinner date. They said that after speaking to their marriage mentor, they needed to reconnect and get back together as a couple. So when they first started dating and even in the early years of their marriage, they used to be around each other all the time and they were constantly with each other. But she's seeing that, it's going left. We're finding out that Brandon's family may not care too much for Kristina because she's a little bit outspoken. She's saying that his mom is kind of docile. She doesn't speak. She doesn't have an opinion. She doesn't have a say of what goes on in the house. And that's how Brandon grew up. However, with her, he needs to realize that she's not going to stay quiet. And that's not the way she is. So it might be a little bit shocking to him to see that he has an outspoken wife. And she's telling him that, we met when we were young. I'm going into my 40s right now. I'm changing. So I want you to get to know the new me. Then he turns around and he says, do you know me, who I am? So there was, I felt that it was like a tit for tat for a little bit. And then finally he backed down and he realized that she was that gonna. I mean, they were talking very nice to each other. It didn't turn into an argument, but you could still see the seriousness and the tension in the conversation. Till finally he was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother anymore. So he gets up now in the restaurant. He's like, hey, everybody, listen up. She was like, what are you doing? You're about to get me a new ring, whatever. He's like, this is my wife, Kristina, and I want to let you know that I love her very much, blah, 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 blah. I felt that whole thing was unnecessary. You did not need to announce to the entire restaurant that you love your wife. It seems like Brandon is going to have to be like Drake, where he said, I can't spend my 9 to 5 trying to convince you. I can't make convincing you that I love you my 9 to 5 or something to that. If you guys listen to the song, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, Brandon is professing his love in a public place, that he loves his wife, and Kristina found that to be very loving. So I can tell, I love you and I love you. So that's what we had in the restaurant with Brandon and Kristina. Now we have Anthony visiting a friend who's Lyrique. So we're meeting him for the first time. He's letting us know that they went to school together and that he's also in music production. So he said he also works with Brandon. Brandon and Lyrique work together on a lot of projects. They're a production partner and they write and produce songs together. So he's letting Lyrique know that, you know, he wants him to be a part of the showcase as far as being a judge, because he knows the industry. He's been around for a very long time. He has a lot of people that he's put out, or put on, I should say, and he knows what to look for in the showcase. So he will make a great judge. But then Brandon tells him that you're going to have to work with, you know, along with us, you're going to have to work with Brandon. He's like, your friend, Brandon. And Lyrique was like, my friend, huh? My friend. So now we get to know there's a little bit of history with him and Brandon. We find that their production studios are right around the corner from each other and they have never worked together. Anthony says that, you know, if you work together, there's a lot more that could come of it. And he's surprised that they have not worked together yet. Lyrique says that, you know, he doesn't have a problem with Brandon, but it seems like Brandon has a problem with him. And with that conversation, we found out that Lyrique has worked with Kristina in the past. And we find out that Kristina could sing. I didn't know that. They didn't even mention that. This is episode, 7? And we're just finding out that Kristina could sing. Brandon's wife, he's out here producing talent and nurturing other artists when he has an artist right there next to him, Lyrique says. We get to hear a snippet of Kristina singing, and it's really, really good. And Lyrique is saying he doesn't even know what he's missing out on. His wife right there, he could have developed her into talent, and who knows how far she could have reached if he actually focused on making sure that he takes care of Kristina as far as her talent is concerned. Develop her talent. That's the word I'm looking for. So he says that when he was working with Kristina, I believe that's when she met Brandon, and then he married her. But he said if Kristina had stuck with it and gone on, that she probably would not have met Anthony, because she would have been out on tour while he would have been back here in Detroit, and she wouldn't have had the chance to run into him. So he gave Kristina her props. She really does sound good, and hopefully she'll get back to it and we could hear a little bit going further. But that was nice of him to big up Kristina like that. So he said, yes, I'll be a part of the showcase, but I don't know about you, dude, because, you know, somehow he has something against me. I don't know what it is. So we'll see. So that was that. Now we have LaToya and Kolby. LaToya comes to pick up Kolby because they're going to the Shut Up and Pray brunch that Kristina is having. They talk while they're in the car. She told LaToya that, Kolby told LaToya that she did meet up with Kristina. LaToya thought that was really good because she felt that a conversation needed to be had. But at the same time, she told LaToya what went down with Brandon, Kristina, Brittany, the publicist, and her husband, Anthony. And when Kolby is running back the story to her, you could see the level, you could see LaToya turned a different color while she was getting upset. So by the time she pulled up in front of the brunch, she was not good. She's like, you know what? I don't do Jesus and drama. Kolby said, listen, girl, this is supposed to be a nice brunch where you're supposed to shut up and don't say anything. So let's just go in here, give her support, and leave. But no, that's not what happened. I guess LaToya could not hold back. So they head on in now. We are flipping back and forth between them and Kristina, where she's setting up for the event. She has Brandon with her, and she's saying that, she's happy that he's here to support her, and it means a lot. We see all the ladies come in, all the guests come into the event, set up beautifully, I must say. The space was beautifully done. And the ladies stream in. We see both Chelseas. We know that Kristina has a friend named Chelsea, and we have Kolby have a friend named Chelsea. They're sitting at the table with LaToya, Kolby, and another person. And it so happened that both of them are wearing cheetah print or animal print when they came in. One is wearing an animal print dress and the other one is in a two-piece. So LaToya found that to be kind of funny that both Chelseas were dressed in animal print. They're sitting there. Kristina gives a little speech telling everybody to come up and get themselves a mocktail. And then we have Kolby telling LaToya that Brandon is here, but I don't plan to say anything to him because my husband is not around and I don't want to address him. Kristina and Chelsea overhears this and she's like, I don't know. Can we make it? She's kind of saying, can we just make it a good day or whatever? So Kolby told her, girl, don't worry. I already spoke to Kristina. We good. We had a good page. And then Chelsea was like, all right, good. Because I was starting to feel really uncomfortable that things may go left. She was like, no, it's not about that. I just not going to speak to him because my husband is not around and I don't want it to go left. Now we have Kristina making her rounds and she finally sits down at the table with all the other ladies. We have LaToya extend the invitation for the group trip. They ask if it's a full week or a weekend. It's a weekend, so the ladies say no problem, that could be done. Now we have Kristina go back up to the I'm not saying go say pulpit. We're not in church. She goes back up to the front and she introduces the keynote speaker who is a pastor. So they had a really nice sermon or a really nice spoken word. And then everybody is just milling around and mingling and, talking. So LaToya she's like, maybe this is not a good place for me to do this, but I need to address this because you could still, she was still upset. So she asked Kristina, can we talk? She pulls her off to the side. The gist of the conversation was, you got my husband's name in your mouth, saying things that he didn't say. This is me just summarizing it, guys. This is not what she says word for word. We have Kristina coming back at her like, you're not going to be talking to me like that at my event. Yes, there was things that I said that was repeated. And the tone that you're taking with me, I don't like it. She's like, don't address me in a snarky way. She's like, I feel like you've been picking on me since the skating event. And I think that you're taking sides. I felt that Kristina, even though LaToya initiated the conversation, I felt that Kristina had the upper hand at one point. Because you could see that LaToya was holding herself back. She didn't want it to go left. Like she said, this is a prayer brunch, or there was a lot of church people in there where you need to, keep your peace, hold your peace. Like she says, practice grace. And she didn't want it to go left. But I think in the next event when they go away, I think she's going to come out of her. It's episode 7 and we have not seen LaToya get out of herself just yet. She's trying to be the peacemaker, but the ladies are making it quite hard, especially Kristina. And at one point during the conversation, Kristina said, I am going to, she's like, a bit leave LaToya said, I've been in school for 8 years. Part of that is to understand the human body, as well as their physical body, as well as their mind. And Kristina was like, the way this conversation is going, is that what your degree got you? So I'm like, oh, no, she didn't just take a jab at her. We have LaToya still trying to talk, and Kristina was like, I'm going to be ending this conversation right now because this is my event. I need to be here for my other guests, and this is not going anywhere. So therefore, we're going to end the conversation here. We still have LaToya trying to talk. She's like, all right, go ahead. Finish what you have to say. LaToya said a couple words. She's like, all right, I'm ending the conversation now. I'm like, whoa. Kristina took the upper hand in that conversation. LaToya let her go because she know that eventually they say, he who fights a runaway lives to fight another day. So I know she's coming back at her. She's not gonna let her get away with that. And once Anthony hears what happened, I know he's gonna come in there too. Cause he's not gonna let nobody mess with his wife. So he's gonna take it out on Brandon. He's not gonna do it to Kristina, but he's gonna take it out on Brandon. So yeah, guys, that was the episode. Um, like I said, the next episode we see where the couples go away on their weekend trip. We see where Anthony's telling Brandon that he invited Larique to be part of the showcase, and Brandon is not with it. And we see where the couples have a conversation at the table as well. So it's going to be pretty interesting in the next episode. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you do not miss my review of the next episode. Thumbs up this video. Share this video if you wish. And until next time, be sure to take care of yourselves and your families. Bye-bye.